It is perhaps the first time in modern history we have witnessed life coming to a halt all over the world due to the outbreak of COVID. When almost all sectors of society came to a standstill, education managed to reinvent itself in the quickest possible time and came up with alternative modes of disseminating knowledge. The pandemic has disrupted the entire spectrum of conventional education across the world. With physical schooling shut down across the world, millions of stakeholders were forced to innovate and adapt to new means of teaching and learning. Education has changed dramatically with e-learning. Teaching is now underway seamlessly and remotely on digital platforms. I would like to share a few information about myself and also how I adapted to the challenging situation during pandemic as an educationist. The pandemic lockdown came in slowly. By early March, teaching across the globe started shifting towards online learning on account of the onset of COVID-19. To be honest, despite reading about the pandemic in the news, the lockdown that was imposed in India from 22nd March was unprecedented, and we were unprepared and untrained for the transition. My son, who was then pursuing his master's degree from University of Florida, told me that his classes were conducted through some app. I thought we should also explore the scope of conducting online classes, and therefore, without wasting a day, an emergency staff meeting was called, and we held discussions regarding the situation and formulated the school's response to this challenging situation. The study has always been a pioneer in adopting technology. So, quickly we embraced cloud meetings and had brainstorming sessions. It was decided during the meeting to adopt this technology for live interactive online classes. We were the first school in the Union Territory of Puducherry to do so. Messages were sent out to parents and students about the decision to continue the teaching learning process online. They were given guidelines to download the app and register. The teachers, meanwhile, were learning the app, exploring the features, and conducted mock interactive sessions with their student group. Then, on April 1st, the official start of CBSE academic year 2020-2021, the study brought their entire student community right from senior kindergarten to standard 12 under the ambit of the online classes. Teachers spent their lockdown hours preparing PowerPoints, study materials, class videos, worksheets, assessments, and relearning the process of teaching in front of a screen. Screen sharing, whiteboard, enabling waiting room, video on, mute, etc. were practiced and polished by the educators. We then shifted to a more education-friendly platform where classroom environment could be brought in with precision. Our teachers got familiar with it in a matter of few hours. The transition was very smooth. Students have learned that internet can be taken advantage of, not just for entertainment, but also for an immersive learning experience. We framed timetables with screen time in mind, with the age group, availability of device for sibling, etc. We took all that into consideration. The school which I am heading now as principal is also using the same technology for knowledge dissemination, and we are definitely making a difference in our classes. There are different modes of online teaching, and we have started exploring the options. This pandemic has ushered in significant changes in the way we teach and the way we learn. There are different platforms through which knowledge is imparted to students, depending on the facilities available. I heard that some rural schools started transmitting classes through public addressing systems in all streets, where students can hear from home, listening to their teacher's voice. CBSE also stepped in radio broadcasting and streaming videos of different concepts and chapters in each subjects. We have evidence through research that students are able to retain information better through online learning. It takes less time to cover more information, and students are into the habit of self-learning these days, and they are more responsible. We have started accepting this as the new normal. Teachers have learned the use of technology, and also they keep updating themselves. All of us do not have a choice but to adapt to the changes and constantly keep upskilling. In fact, I consider this period as a kind of blessing in disguise, where we have grown in terms of skills and knowledge. My teachers and I have attended webinars and accumulated e-certificates, and tremendous learning has happened among the teaching community in the last 2 years than the learning we as teachers were exposed to during the physical classes. There are also challenges that we face due to technology dependence in education. We do have few constraints. Adequate bandwidth and primary access to devices are major hurdles. The effects of total dependence on technology is discernible on the health of the students. Most students are frequenting the eye hospital these days. There is this restlessness among students and neurological impact as well. There used to be times when parents were forcing the kids to keep off the computers and mobile phones. Now the tables have turned around. We get upset with the students if they don't log into their classes or if they miss their classes. Students have also found ways to dodge their teachers by logging in but keeping their videos off and engaging in gaming activities. 2 or more kids with one device from the same families have the tug of war trying to share the device. Teachers too face lot of challenges. I am sure most of you are not aware of it. The teachers had to respond to the rapid changes and the demands that came with it. Learning the use of technology, getting comfortable with online teaching, it's not an easy job for those who are used to conventional mode for years. Recreating the entire concept and lessons through PPTs and videos, preparing online resources to keep the children engaged, all these are very difficult for some teachers. The present generation of students are exposed to all kind of graphics, audiovisual inputs on media, and any mundane teaching style on the screen will easily fail to capture the attention of the students. So the teacher had to make the class very interesting to keep the students' attention for the entire 40 minutes. The responsibilities of parents too have increased. They have to share the responsibility of the teacher at home, especially for kids attending primary school, providing all the basic facilities for their child to attend online classes, following up the class along with their child, making the child to understand in case of learning gaps, ensuring that the child doesn't wander off in the digital world to adult contents, access to gaming and social networking, which the child seeks in the name of attending online classes. One could end up being a very nagging parent or totally neglect the child's need. It all depends on what kind of parenting style one adapts. Well, how to overcome these challenges? It is not easy to overcome all these challenges, but surely we can handle them slowly and steadily and emerge out with simple solutions with proper support. I hope the government will provide affordable internet connection for the entire student community and create more avenues for learning platforms. Every village and town in India should be digitally connected. Supply of device for underprivileged categories so that there is no digital divide and everyone has access to knowledge. Education has become global and it's time that we catch up with the rest of the world. You may be wondering, will it be the new normal? Yes, COVID-19 has made the world to pause and rethink on our priorities. We don't know what lies ahead for millions of youngsters in the future. With sudden shift away from physical classroom across the globe, we have started wondering if online classes will persist post-pandemic. As a psychologist, I realize that it's time to focus on the emotional and social well-being of students. More empathy and tolerance should be exercised, and we need to create a conducive learning environment for all. Home environment should be filled with positive vibes. Parents should ensure that we boost our children with natural immunity. So give them a lot of fruits and vegetables to eat. Education will continue no matter what the situation is. The current pandemic situation is an opportunity to transform our education system. We just have to keep adapting to the changes and try to go global, keeping with the international standards. We have succeeded in capturing the transition in the education system, and I am confident the life will go on with the new normal.